Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 World Ablaze with me, Alpha Pi Omega, and Scandinavian Empire. So, after a long deliberation, I have decided that this is going to be the last episode of the playthrough. The reason is that we have all but lost, and it is pretty much done for everyone. I mean, with the Americans landing all of their divisions here, they are eventually going to, that is a question of 1 or 2 episodes, going to conquer the whole of Scandinavia, including Stockholm. Then they're just going to cross from the north into Germany. And the same thing is going to happen on the East. Germany, despite being on in 1943, has lost all of its momentum. They lost most of the territory they gained, and they're being pushed every single day back. So by the end of this year, the playthrough is pretty much over, and there's nothing that we can do with it. However, I wanted to think or speak a bit about what went wrong. I can't speak for Germany, but what went wrong with Scandinavia itself, and why we sucked so much. I was kind of spending a couple of days while recording this, thinking of things that I could do differently, and I think that I kind of figured out a decent explanation and a decent plan for anyone that wants to try this on how to learn from my mistakes. I would be interested in hearing your opinions as well, but yeah, so here it goes. Sweden. Well, okay, one thing that definitely plays a role is that in this mod, Sweden doesn't have a specialized tree. That's one problem that is heavily making it, much weaker than it could be. While, for example, Germany and all of the other states, and I know this is the same thing in Black Ice. In Black Ice, Sweden actually has its own focus tree. Get dozens and dozens of factories that you get from, well, I can't really see it here, but if I put factory here, okay, that's the Reichsbahn. Okay, so here you get many aluminum smelters. Here you can get, okay, so just here Germany gets 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 military factories just from this one. There's another 20 here. You get 10 steel mills here. You get additional 4. So you can see that the game is very generous, and it's the same way generous to Soviet Union and to France and United Kingdom and United States. While to us, we basically got, what, 4 or 5? We had to build everything from scratch. So that was one thing that really limited us, because here we keep getting some factories, but as far as the armament effort goes, we got 6. So that was one of the key issues that I had while playing this. Now we managed to get pretty high, 90, well, and it's with the loss of those, 93, and here we got 69. I think we had like, 180 at the strongest that we were. And this was to the fact that we just weren't able to field a big enough army. The reason why I'm starting with the economy and not saying the key problems of the army is that this military capacity really makes a difference. And where it made a difference was basically going with the coastal guard, because we just weren't able to hold the coast at all. Now I went ahead and we got these cavalry brigades, which were terrible, but they were just not able to stop any naval invasion. And the fact that they weren't able to stop any naval invasion means that we either would need a much bigger force to stop any naval invasion, or we just shouldn't have such a big coastline. What I mean by that is that the cavalry brigade that was, as we mentioned, completely unsuitable for this task had 572 light infantry equipment. If we really wanted something that could hold it, we would need something like this, which gives us 300 extra heavy infantry equipment. That's about 150 extra light equipment. You need support equipment, infantry support, trucks, and stuff like that. And you would need the tanks and everything to actually hold the coast and get rid of the naval invasions. And we would need like, I think it's at like 38 for Norway and Denmark alone. And that's not to hold the coastline, that's just to hold the naval bases. So this was really a huge amount of equipment that we would need, which leads me to the fact that actually going for Norway is a mistake. What you should probably, and what we should have probably done, was keep Sweden, steal Denmark, but let Germany take Norway. And instead of Norway, invade Finland and use the combined forces that we would get out of that. Meaning we don't need to train the cavalry defense or anything. We would just basically have to hold this little coast here, and that would be easy for Germany to intervene in. Actually, let me see what they have as a defensive force. Yeah, they got even bigger. Okay, so it's 10 full. Yeah, so their defensive forces on the coastline are way stronger than even the units that I showed. So they would be probably able to defend the coast for us. Well, we would focus on something that you guys mentioned, and that would be small, compact, but the very nice military force. We would have this area and the Republic of Finland, and when Germany would declare war on Soviet Union, we would pretty much hold back a bit, let them get involved in that fight, and while they actually leave this entire area open, invade. Now they would probably get, their forces up pretty quickly, but probably not quick enough before we would be able to close off this and this area and create a secondary line here with our specialized unit. I mean, how many that is? 1, 2. Well, if you went here, that would be, again, the same as in the World War I. That would be 3 divisions here, and then 1 here, and 1, 2, 3 divisions here. So you could go as low as 7 provinces here, and what's this? 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's say 4 here. So that would be 11. If we had 22 highly trained, skillful divisions, we could hold this, while small mobile divisions would just take away this area. And then again, Soviets could land, on our territory. They could do the amphibious attacks, but I don't think they would. I really don't think they would. And it would also make it a bit easier for us as far as the supply lines go, because there is supply in these areas and we could use the coastline. So basically it all went wrong when we, instead of going for Finland, went for Norway. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the game would treat this at the moment of us actually conquering Finland and not Norway, and whether you can actually stay away from the conflict with the Soviets while being part of Germany. I mean, there is a possibility of us to have just that non-aggression pact, and maybe we could join them after they actually get involved in the war with Soviets. That's also a possibility. I mean, you could do that. Prepare your divisions, ignore the defensive ones and just prepare for the offensive war with the Soviet Union. That is, I think, how you can play this and how it work well. Now, this would... I mean, the question is, was Denmark really... Yeah, Denmark was... I didn't think of that. Denmark was guaranteed by the British, so maybe you should just go with Finland then. Maybe you should just go with attacking Finland and ignoring Denmark. I don't know, it's a bit kind of a hard question here, but all that screwed us was the inability to basically hold the coast and prevent them from landing there, creating a pure Atlantic wall. I don't think I did anything wrong as far as economy goes, we just didn't have enough. Okay, I mean, now we have, stockpiles of naval carrier bombers and that, but that's because they no longer fly here. We started working on the tanks too late. Another hit that was really bad for us was being basically locked away from any way back, where we lost, I think 5 to 8 divisions, I don't remember exactly. I think we had 14, so that would be 7. Yeah, I think we lost that many here. But yeah, generally speaking, the strategy that I chose for this one was really, 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 really wrong. And another thing that I actually think is worth pointing out is that if you do not take Norway, you really can take care of these inner areas where you could sort of just, you know, extend your military or naval power the same way that we did it in World War I, because we never really ventured out of this area. We just tried to hold this inner area. Again, Norway was an independent nation at that point, so we really just had Sweden, you know, and attacking, taking Finland and moving against the Soviets. So maybe replicating the exact same strategy would be good. I think the biggest issue here is that while you can take Norway and you can take Finland and you can take Denmark, it's just too big of an area for too little effort. I mean, look at us. Like, we are, well, we're not the exactly same size if we took this as Germany is, but Germany has, what, nearly 1,000 factories, while Finland has 21. Yeah, you know, even with this, we would be nowhere near the capacity. We would need at least 3 times of what we have to actually be able to defend the coast and fight the Soviets as German allies, which is obviously something that is not happening here. And yeah, I mean, also, like, the composition of the army was completely wrong. I think we might have wanted to focus purely on defense instead of the offensive tanks, because the breakthrough wouldn't work well for us. Going with more of an artillery, I actually don't know. Can you get a good unit without what would just a purely infantry division look like? If you would go, for example, with something like this, I think the issue will be the attack here. Oh no, this division has a decent soft attack, so if we could equip them with this, you know, this amount of equipment, they would have a decent soft attack and defense. The hard attack is awful, but you can give them some support here. You would give them recon and logistics. Maybe even the assault, an engineering company. Yeah, that would make them a bit more of a... Well, I mean, they wouldn't be able to get rid of the tank. So you would need at least tank destroyers here or something. Or to support the heavy anti-tank. But I mean, such a division could, I think, hold the coast pretty nicely. But again, we would need... Jesus, we would need at least, say, 40 of those to hold Norway efficiently. So that means it's like 30,000 light infantry equipment and heavy infantry equipment. That would be about half of that. So those are literally dozens of factories that would need to work on this all the time. I might try this again with a different plan someday and hope that it could work. But I really don't think Scandinavia can hold its own in this. There would need to be some kind of political difference. I mean, these events don't give you anything new, right? No, they just give you the course on all of the territory. I don't know, maybe you guys have some different opinions about this. I would be happy to hear it, but considering we would need to build a navy, we would need to build the... And by the navy, you know, we would need to get rid of the Royal Navy, and that's something that we just can't... We proved completely ineffectual, you know, as far as deterring the Royal Navy here. Even the bombers just got shot down all the time. I mean, you could get more of them, that is certainly a thing, but again... you need to control the air, which we could, but that wasn't enough on its own. And you would need to have enough forces to hold this area, which again wouldn't work. And I mean, you could see it even on Finland alone. Just Finland, with our support, wasn't able to stop the Soviets at all, which is not historically how it went. And I mean, Germany itself got, you know, beaten to crap in this playthrough. Usually they are way better. You remember in Black Ice we were able to hold much better here. I mean, considering all that I said, this might be kind of a good idea to see it again in Black Ice once it gets out and compare the development. I don't know what you guys think about that. Would you like to see that? Because I think that is a good idea. I mean, I can already tell you what the next playthrough is going to be. I want to play Austria-Hungary in the World War I mod. If we lose, I'm not sure what I'm going to go with, but if we win, I'm going to go with Kaiserreich. So if we actually lose, I might go ahead and try Scandinavia in black ice, or I mean Sweden in black ice, and see how that's going to go. With the change of plan that I mentioned before, letting Norway be controlled by Germany and us just going with Denmark, Sweden, and Finland, or whatever the game offers. This is the episode. I mean, you guys provided me with a lot of advice over the episodes, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more from you, because there is a ton of other episodes. I think I'm like 10 episodes ahead of you guys at this point. So any advice or suggestion would be welcome, because I mean, in Black Ice, Sweden has its own focus tree, which I think would be good to see and play with a bit. But the logistical nightmare in Black Ice is even harder. But I know that the naval invasions are quite a bit more difficult, so that could prove a bit better for us. And I mean, focusing more on the defense in such a playthrough, and on the having less units, maybe having less units but having heavy strike units that could move quickly around and help wherever we are under attack would be the choice here. If you could create something that has high defense but will soft attack, but maybe something like this. Wait, no, it's anti-air. How would this work? I even need things that would boost, and I think that the highest defense value comes from infantry. Not sure how it's in Black Ice, but definitely here. Armored battalion, heavy tanks. Oh, we don't have those. Medium tanks give breakthrough, but their defense is not good. What about the armored cars? Armored tank destroyer. Oh, we didn't really go with that, did we? Scout car recon, yeah, that gives breakthrough. Well, anyway, I think that's enough for this episode. Just let me know, guys, what you think, what you thought of the playthrough. I know that, you know, many of you would probably like to see me continue this, but there's no point. It would be just like 5-6 more episodes of us retreating and being destroyed, because there's no way we can turn this around. There's so many German divisions here, so many Italians, and we just can't stop. Well, you know, you can see the amounts of Americans. Well, this amount of Americans is here. There is no way to turn us around. So what we could hope for is basically creating a defensive line, and that's not going to work either. They're just going to attack Oslo and just spill in. So maybe even those 5 episodes are a bit too... If Germany was at least advancing towards the Russians, I would consider playing, but this is just lost on all fronts. Anyway, all that's left to say is that I would like to thank you for your patronage. Thank you for you watching this. Please, this is the point for all of your comments and suggestions, because if we try this again in Black Ice, I would like to have a bit of a different outcome than this, because this was probably the most horrible playthrough I've had in Hearts of Iron in a long time. Speaking of which, the last one that was so bad was Finland, and I didn't even record that one. But yeah, it was as horrifying as this one. There was just nothing I could do against the Soviets. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. I will see you next time with Austria-Hungary, because that one is starting next.